Well, I wish I could say let's get this party started, but I'm really mad at the moment. Really, really mad. What has got me fired up? The Australian government. Now, I'm generally very careful about what I say. I don't like to criticise governments. I know they have a really hard job, but I am disgusted at this point in time. So, as you know, Australia's been very slow with the vaccinations. Australia's been very slow with the vaccinations. That's a fact. The government itself has admitted that they've not rolled out the vaccinations fast enough, but it's not their fault. Today on Insiders, the Services Minister was asked a question, and it has me riled up. So he was on. So this is the headline. Liberal MP Dan Tehan tells out-of-work Victorians to head to Centrelink, but they may not receive support. So we went into lockdown. We're in lockdown until Friday. There's 49 cases. So he appeared on an Insider show, and this is what he said. Thank you to Insiders on the ABC.
This lockdown's going to hurt a lot of casual workers, including in your seat, right across Victoria. What support is the federal government going to give?
Well, we already have existing support available for Victorians. There's a disaster pandemic leave payment that's available.
Hang on, that pandemic payment is available if you've got COVID or you're a close contact. Right, it's not available to all casual workers who are hit by this lockdown.
And there's also an emergency health payment that is available as well.
Not to all casual workers, though. I'm asking about, if you work at a restaurant, a cafe, a bar, a gym, and so on, you don't have work for a week, you don't have an income. What do they get?
Nothing.
You can go to Centrelink, and if you're eligible, if you've lost a complete week's work, or if you're going to leave 2 weeks' work, then you might be eligible for one of these emergency health payments.
You're not.
For those people who find themselves in circumstances where they've completely lost their income, then they should go to Centrelink and see where they're eligible for.
Well, I had a look at the Government Services Australia website, and that wasn't my reading of it. Are you saying to us this morning that if you don't necessarily have COVID, you're not necessarily close contact, but if you are nonetheless affected by the lockdown, you can access one of these payments?
If you've lost your income, and obviously it depends on eligibility.
Oh, stop it, mate. Essentially, what the Services Australia states is that if you are close contact or you're ordered to quarantine, you're caring for somebody in quarantine, the government has support papers. But essentially, to anybody else that is losing income while we're locked down to COVID, the government is telling you to get stuffed. That's what they're saying. We had a JobKeeper program that was in place which guaranteed payments of workers to keep them employed. But the government decided that when they rolled the vaccine out, when they started to roll the vaccine out in March, that they would stop it, because apparently rolling the vaccine out would solve the problem. But we're not all vaccinated. We can't all get vaccinated. And there is the hashtag Morrison lockdown or Morrison outbreak is actually trending on Twitter because of the fact that vaccines have not been delivered to the states on time and are very slow at rolling out. Everyone is saying that because we're not vaccinated, this is the result. Now, I know that the vaccine doesn't cover you for everything, but this is why I'm mad. This is why I'm mad.
And you're going to lose your income for the week, then you should go to Centrelink and see whether you might be eligible for an emergency payment.
Are you eligible if you don't have COVID? Are you announcing a new government policy position?
No, this is not a new government policy.
So you can't get the payment if you don't have COVID or you're not a close contact?
Well, what I'm saying is you should, if you've lost all your income, and then you should go to Centrelink and see whether you're eligible for payment.
And what will they say? What will they say? If you don't have COVID or you're not a close contact?
I mean, David, it will depend on your circumstances.
How's this for fuffing around? You see why I'm so angry? This person is in charge of the department that deals with the most vulnerable people in this country. This is a farce.
And on your loss of income. So they will assess your situation and see whether you're eligible for a payment. And what you have to remember, David, in terms of federal government support for Victoria during this pandemic, we have paid more federal government support for Victoria per capita than any state or territory. It's $46 billion. And if you accumulate what we've paid in support to every other state and territory, the support we've paid to Victoria is double that.
Oh, yes, that's right. Because, we should be grateful about that. We should be grateful. Unfortunately, today, the state is actually going to be announcing a package, and that will be announced at some point today. And we will see what we see what the state has to say. But this is the guy that is responding. I mean, he can't even answer a simple question. He can't even answer a simple question. I can't even watch the rest of that. I am so angry. I'm so angry. And so I don't know I don't know whether the federal government's going to put on extra staff to process payments. We do have the job seeker payment that they may be eligible for a week's payment, but they may have taken the extra staff off, and it may take a week for your payment to get processed, and you're back at work. This is not good enough. This is not good enough. I am angry. So I am angry. They've just left us in the dark. I can't even watch the rest of that. I've just seen a lot of stuff on Twitter at the moment going off. It says, a lot of stuff. A lot of people are talking about. And of course, I just watching a lot of this stuff at the moment. So, I get really annoyed. And I get really annoyed when people say that we don't know where the Premier is. The Premier fell down a flight of stairs 7 weeks ago, and injured his back. He was in intensive care. He's home. He's resting. We know where he is. He will be back as work. I can tell you now that he would be on the phone talking to people. So, anyway, that's my view. So as I said, I'm livid. I'm just livid at the moment. I'm really angry with the government, the federal government. So it says, like somebody's just tweeted here, all Victorians not at work, even if you don't have COVID or a close contact, rush to your Centrelink tomorrow to see if you can get money for this lockdown. The minister told us on TV. The thing is, the Centrelink offices are closed as well. You have to ring up. This is where he's silly. I don't think Centrelink offices won't be open. They weren't open the last time. Can the media stop blaming Victoria government for the delays in the vaccination? It's our part-time Prime Minister's fault. Ask him. Yes. And let me just tell you, the Prime Minister's in New Zealand at the moment. No one else can leave the country. He's left the country. He'll be back. And not only that, so he's left. Everybody else has to do their meetings by... Everybody has to do their meetings by everybody's got to do their stuff. Everyone's good to their meetings by Zoom except the Prime Minister, so I apologise. I'm just having a Twitter argument. Anyway, thank you for joining me.